This is an LED shell flow light production kit. It's another DIY soldering kit that I picked up late last year. This particular kit, after all discount and delivery, cost me just £2.02. So let's take a look inside and see what you get. So as we can see, this kit includes a very nice shaped PCB, and this is the main part of the little kit here. This gives us a seashell shaped sort of keyring or other accessory, and there's a nice lanyard strap or wrist strap provided for us to connect to it. All the components have been bagged up individually, so we have the different colours of LED that will go onto the board. We have an included battery, and we have the remaining components, again, all bagged up very neatly. This looks like a very nicely put together kit. And of course, it does include some instructions for us to follow. And so these have been provided in both Chinese, but also in English. And it says that we can scan a QR code for more information. So if you'd like, I'm just going to pop that near the camera for you to take a look. We have the bill of materials, which tells us that we have red LEDs, green LEDs, and blue LEDs. And these are marked. We have the blue and green are marked, and then the red ones are in just this bag here with a silver label. We have a 104 ceramic capacitor, an 8-pin IC socket, an STC microcontroller. So again, this is a programmed microcontroller project. A key switch, a battery base, the button cell, the instructions, the PCB, and the lanyard. We also have the basic circuit diagram showing how the microcontroller will control those LEDs. So this is a very nicely put together little kit. So let's go ahead, turn the soldering iron on, and get started. The instructions here tell us we should solder the button battery base first, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to follow along with these instructions. So this is the battery holder or button battery base, and this needs to go through just like so. And we make sure that the opening is facing outwards. Next up, we need to install the 8-pin IC socket, and it tells us here to make sure the notch is facing in the same direction as on the silk screen, so we're going to make sure we do that correctly. So here is the notch, and on the silk screen we can see the notch is on the left-hand side. Next up, we are told to solder our red LEDs, and that should go in D1, D4, D7, and D10. So these should be our red LEDs. And as usual, we can check them with a small coin cell battery. In this kit, we actually have one provided, so I'm going to use the provided battery here to make sure they are red and to double check that polarity. And as you can see, these are indeed the red LEDs. And we know that the longer leg is positive because it's going to the casing side of the battery. So not the button side of the battery, the casing side. And this battery should be marked. If we look very carefully, hopefully you can make out the plus sign on the casing side of the battery. If we look on the board, we can see a plus sign, and then we need to make sure that aligns. So the longer lead is going into the plus symbol, just like so. You may also be able to make out there is a slight chamfer off the edge of the LED on the side with the shorter leg. A bit hard for me to show you that on these 3mm LEDs, but there's a shorter leg there, and hopefully you can make out that one side is slightly flatter, the same size as the shorter leg. Next, it tells us to do the green LEDs, and this is D2, D5, and D8. And finally, our blue LEDs to D3, D6, and D9. Okay, next up we have to solder our 104 ceramic capacitor, as it says 100 nanofarad. And we have our capacitor here. There is only one. Hopefully you can make out that this one does indeed say 104. Next we have our switch. Then we have to insert our STC HU-1K17A chip into the 8-pin IC socket, and again making sure the notch marking or the pin 1 marking is at the correct end of the socket. So here's our IC, and hopefully you can see it on the camera. There is a little dimple cut out on this side of the IC. It's only a sort of an half indent, so it might be a little hard to see there, but that is the pin 1 end, and that needs to go with the notch cut out on the IC socket. As usual, I'm going to roll this very slightly on the table here, just to make sure the legs are quite square before we put them into the socket, and it'll just make it a little easier to get in. Again, making sure that notch is facing the right direction. Make sure all the legs are lined up, and slide the chip easily home. The last 2 steps are to install the lanyard and button battery, positive pole facing upwards, so that's the casing side of the battery facing upwards. So let's attach the lanyard, just pop it through the hole, and pull the rest of the wrist strap through. And then sliding that battery in with the plus sign facing upwards. And frustratingly, it seems they've given me the wrong size battery. Notwithstanding that little issue there, as you can see, the little IC is correctly flashing the lights. I've wedged it in far enough, but as you can see, that battery is actually never going to fit in that socket, so it looks like I'm going to have to order the correct battery separately. There you go, it's doing this nice little pattern where it fills up the individual LEDs one by one. It's really quite neat. It looks like the button here gives us different flashing patterns. And if I press and hold, it does indeed seem to turn the device on and off. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can order the correct size battery to install in this device. But in the meantime, I hope you found this video interesting, and I hope to speak to you again soon in the next one.